Warning. This story contains artistic depictions of sexual conduct. All characters in the story are over the age of 18. Any similarities to real people, or living or dead, are coincidental. And now to begin. I mean and welcome. My name is Yuusha Anime, and welcome to a new game I'm going to be playing until I fix that junior Sweetest monster. Now this is a game that is by a game maker who's also who also works with Sekai Project. Her name is, I believe it's a she. Don't judge me. I don't know. Ebihime. Ebihime made this game along with a few other visual novels like No One But You and also a few other games. I think one of them was The Way We All Go. So I'm actually going to play this because I've been very curious about it, because it's a cat girl and of course it's a visual novel. And it's also got a tag of horror. And for some reason I can play this in Russian. Nice to know. So I have no idea how this is going to go. I have literally no idea. So if you also want to get this game, it's also available on Steam, and it's also available on Ebihime's Stitch.io. And I will try to remember to make sure that I put them in the description below, and also to follow her Twitter, because I want to see how this goes. It's got alright ratings as well. So guys, Yikimashoka, new game. Oh, prologue. I remember when Great Aunt Clarice was still alive. She had a black cat called Belle. Now that isn't strictly true. Great Aunt Clarice didn't just have one cat over her long life, she had several. She's a crazy cat lady. Maybe it's because she never had any children. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, and diagnosing somebody after their death seems rather callous to me. Great Aunt Clarice always loved cats. After the death of Great Uncle Albert, however, she began to dote on them more and more. She would sit them on her lap and talk to them, and she looked at them so intensely you would have thought she was waiting for a reply. It was kind of sad. Now that I think about it, I didn't find it sad when I was little though. I thought it was scary. I never liked going to see Great Aunt Clarice. She would sit in her armchair, bent double back, hunched like the eponymous bell ringer from Victor Hugo's famous novel, stroking her cats with her withered, ropey hands. I guess she was your archetypal crazy cat lady. Yeah, I was right. At her lowest point, she had 6 of the things, shedding hair around the house and dragging dead birds across the welcome mat in the kitchen. I don't remember much about her cats. I mean, they're just cats. You've seen one cat, you've seen them all, right? I guess. But Belle was different. I remember Belle. Oh, hello. She has a bandage too. Belle was a black cat, proud and stately, her eyes greener than anything I'd ever seen before. She disliked people in general, and would hiss and spit whenever unwanted fingers strayed too near to her glossy coat. She hissed at me, at mother, at father, and she definitely hissed at Great Aunt Clarice. When she was truly enraged, Belle would even try to scratch us. I can still remember how it felt when Belle's claws raked across the backs of my hands. I still remember the ugly red welts she caused. She drew blood on more than one occasion. Mother and father were upset, but Great Aunt Clara simply tutted and said, "Well, what can you do?" My parents, as may be expected, were not very happy about this laissez-faire response. As a result, they stopped visiting her for several weeks. They couldn't hold out for long though. My mother probably felt guilty for storming out of her house like that, even though the welfare of her only son was at stake. But not really. I mean, I'm still alive and kicking, which is more than can be said for Great Aunt Clarice, so she's passed away as well. Belle's violent assaults didn't leave any lasting scars. Not physically, mentally, I'm also doing fine. Though, I did become a primary school teacher, so you might think otherwise. But those scratches were hardly the worst thing Belle did to me. I remember, I was playing with a model airplane. It wasn't anything special, certainly not electronic. Okay, at least it's not that pricey. All I could do was throw it. like a glorified frisbee, but I enjoyed it all the same. I was running through Great Aunt Clarice's overgrown jungle of a back garden, all uncut grass that reached past the ankles, and old dead apple trees that hadn't given any apples for years and years when I noticed it. Great Aunt Clarice's garden is rather big. Was big, I should say, because the garden doesn't belong to her anymore, so I'm no longer at the house. It had apple trees, like I said, but it also had a vegetable garden, a disused pen where Great Uncle Albert used to keep chickens, and a lake. And a rather large lake lined with willow trees, like something from a picture book. Like the lake in the beginning of Alice in Wonderland. Oh, okay. Maybe I was channeling Alice myself that day, though I didn't tumble into Wonderland searching for white rabbits. Instead, I, quite foolishly looking back on it, fell headfirst into the lake whilst trying to save the life of a black cat. I heard a yowl and a loud splash, and I turned. My plane forgotten. It landed on the ground and bounced a couple of times, but I hardly noticed. I was too busy staring out at the lake. Staring at Belle. The old saying states cats have 9 lives, but I wasn't naive enough to believe that, even at the age of 6. Wow, I was young when this happened. Okay, I had already been to Great Uncle Albert's funeral, so I knew that when people died, they stayed in the ground and didn't get back up again, unless this is a zombie horror. Belle did not have 9 lives, she only had 1 life, and it was precious. Belle had scratched me only a few months prior, and I didn't particularly like her, but I didn't want her to drown. That was why I decided to rescue her. I mean, well, but as it soon transpired, this was an incredibly stupid idea for several reasons. For one thing, I could not swim. Oh, bollocks. Well, we're gonna die. For another, Belle could. What? Belle could swim? You endangered me, god damn it. I can't really remember what happened after that. This is where my memory goes foggy. All I have to rely on is hearsay from my parents and reports from doctors. They told me I almost drowned. I didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel or anything, or if I did, I don't remember it. But there is something I do remember from the ordeal splashing helplessly in the icy cold lake in Aunt Clarice's garden. I remember watching, slowly drowning, as Belle pulled herself out of the lake right before my eyes, rendering my rescue attempt null and void. Now I'm just guessing, but I imagine the last thought I had right before I swallowed a mouthful of fatigued water and lost consciousness was, "You really are an idiot." More than 30 years later, I don't think I've changed all that much. Just ask my wife Sally. So I'm 36 now. Wow. May 11th, Tuesday. Or in Japanese, Kayobi. Oh, hello. Are you Sally? Is this a very different art style? Not bad music either. Sally doesn't like Arabella Waite, and I can't say I blame her. I don't like Arabella Waite all that much either. That being the case, it's strange Sally seems to be labouring under the entirely misguided apprehension that I might be having an affair with her. Why are you always so kind to that awful woman, Robin? I can't stand her. Uh-oh. Lava's quarrel, here we go. The two of us are sitting together in the living room. The curtains drawn, the TV buzzing in the background like a particularly oh god, here's a big word. Lackadaisical swarm of bees. Or maybe it's lacidicial. I'm not sure what we're supposed to be watching because I haven't been paying any attention. I think it's some kind of crime drama. That would explain the stiff, lifeless corpse of a teenage girl sprawled across the TV screen, her hair wringing wet. Well, at least it's not reality TV then. Jesus. Crime dramas have a strange fixation with dead girls, particularly drowned dead girls. Maybe they think it's edgy. Maybe they think it's sexy. The pre-ref elites sure seem to think so, given their unhealthy obsession with poor Ophelia. Here's the thing with crime when it comes to dead girls in crime dramas. It's more dramatic. because a woman is supposed to have delicacy, and also an elegancy around them. So if they're found dead, then looking at the lifelessness of it is more of a shock factor. Because if you're looking at the dead body of somebody who's supposed to be considered beautiful or elegant, and just see their lifeless body, that can explain the sexy part because of the beauty of the body remaining, but it's also the edgy fact that something so elegant and so gentle by perspective is dead. That's why they like using it. It's more of an effect grabber than using dead men. And also in crimes and that, like, men are stronger than women, so if they are killed by men, I don't know how often it does it in real life. I don't keep track of this shit. Moving on. I can't really comment on the sexiness or otherwise of this dead girl. She reminds me too much of Melly. Oh. I know you can't stand her, Sal, but her money is worth just as much as anybody else's. Every little counts and all that. Don't regurgitate advertising jingles at me, Robin. Even if they're catchy. Even so. I don't think Sally's watching the TV either. She's glaring at the wall, squeezing a cushion so tightly it would scream if it could. Why did she have to come and pick up Annette up? Why did she have to come and pick Annette up so early? She knows her piano lessons don't finish until 6:30. Maybe she's lonely? Okay, is Robin an excuse maker? Or an apologetic of sorts? So she decides to invade our home and invite herself in for coffee? Well, I guess I was the one who invited her in for coffee, but I didn't really have a choice. You could have told her to leave. I couldn't, Sal. Not when she had come all this way. I'd have felt bad. So you feel bad about inconveniencing Arabella's sodding wait, but you don't have any sympathy for me? I had to listen to her banging on about her divorce for a half an hour. I felt like I was going to go mad. Okay. Divorce. That's a touchy subject. Ouch, I'm sorry about that, Sally Pally. I tried to give Sally a sympathetic look, but I'm not sure how much of an effect it's having. None. Sally isn't even looking at me. She's too busy seething. If you really were sorry, you wouldn't have dumped her on me like that. I'm a translator, not a professional trainer. I know, I'm sorry about that, Sal. I really am. I didn't know what to do. I could hardly cut Annette's piano lesson short because her mother turned up too early. I bet she did it on purpose. It's because you're always so nice to her, Robin. You're too soft. I'm getting that vibe as well. I don't like the way Sally says nice. It sounds accusatory, like she's trying to frame me for a crime I haven't committed. She's thinking something's up between you and her. Jesus. Is it true that Arabella Waite is fairly attractive? It is true that Arabella Waite is fairly attractive as far as single mothers go, but she's also unarguably Arabella Waite. Arabella Waite's daughter Annette is a student at the school I work at. She's been having piano lessons with me for 2 years. My relationship with the charming Madam Waite, however, is strictly one of the business. I hardly ever talk to her. Well, Arabella Waite tries to talk to me. I go along with it because that's more polite than ignoring her, as Sally would prefer, but I don't try to encourage conversation. Why would I? If I'm being brutally honest, I think Arabella Waite is something of a snob, and she's boring with it. I don't know why she gave her daughter such a fancy French name. Arabella Waite doesn't have a single French bone in her body. Yeah, it's like some parents say, like, if they're from Germany and they call their daughter Paris. Just saying. Though Arabella Waite's getting divorced, she's been in the process of getting divorced for more than 7 months now. I feel sorrier for Annette than her. Yeah, the daughter's going to be suffering more than the mother because she's about to see both her parents go. I think Annette's the kind of 9-year-old girl. She's only 9. Fucking 9-year-old girl who's been forced to grow up far too quickly. She's less of a daughter to her mother than a constant live-in counsellor. No wonder she's always so quiet during her piano lessons. I have to be nice to her, Sal. She's a paying customer. She's going through a tough time. I know she's going through a tough time. I know all about that, Robin, because she told me in detail. So she told me more than I would like to know. Well, Sally sniffs. If the way she looks at you is anything to go by, I have no doubts as to why her last husband packed his bags. You're being a tad judgmental, don't you think? We can't really say because we're not there. We don't know what's happened. Yeah, I'm not being judgmental. I'm just saying it like it is. She's always been far too friendly with you. Maybe she's trying to... hold on a minute. Hold on. If that's the case, it sounds like that this, Ariette, she doesn't speak to a lot of men, obviously. That's the feeling that I'm getting. Like, the fact that she doesn't speak with a lot of men is probably a strong factor in this. Because if she's getting easily attached to me in the middle of a divorce period for 7 months, she's obviously trying to grab onto somebody who's possibly got a salary, maybe just to get by. Maybe that's what her source of income is at the second, is still the partner she's getting a divorce from. And if she wins the divorce, she gets half his earnings and keeps the kids. I feel sorry for the husband for that happening, but what can I say? I don't know. I'm just saying what I know from knowledge. That's what I'm just saying. But it's not like I return her feelings. Whatever they might be, I just want to help Annette. Annette, that's right. Pass her grade 4 piano exam. That's her daughter. And that's why you went out for a coffee with Arabella like last week, is it? Because you wanted to help Annette? Oh god, she's the easily jealous type, I see. I sigh heavily. So we're back to this again, are we? We'd exhausted this topic last night. We certainly went over it enough times. I hate the women at that ridiculous Keep Fit club Sally goes to. I swear they don't even try to lose weight. From what I've gathered, they meet up every Monday solely so they can gossip. Okay. Miss Harris is the worst. I knew I was in hot water the moment I saw her enter Costa last Saturday, trying to console a crying Arabella Waite over my cappuccino. Arabella, okay. I already told you, Sal, I didn't want to go for a coffee with her. We just bumped into each other and she suggested it. That's all. But you didn't need to agree with her. We're going around in circles now. No, I didn't, but I think she needs somebody to talk to. The divorce must be pretty hard. She started crying, Sal. And I think she needed a strong, handsome, already married, let me add, knight to sweep her off her feet. That's how it looks to me as well. That's actually how it looks to me at the second. Come off here. What was I supposed to do? My heart isn't made of steel. But what about me, Robin? How do you think that made me feel? So I can't talk to people? Jesus. I don't know why I feel like Sally is quite a bit of a control freak at the second. I wasn't thinking about you at the time to be oh fuck, you just sealed your own grave. Oh, you tool! You freaking tool! I was more concerned about Arabella Waite smearing her mascara, which definitely was not waterproof, no matter what she said, down the front of my shirt. So you're telling me you gave her a hug too? No, she was the one that gave me a hug. Shit. I didn't mean to let that one slip. I'm such a smooth talker. Well, I think she might have hugged me first. Yeah, that's what I'd expect. And it wasn't a hug, not really. She was just trying to hide her face. Like I said, she was trying so much that her makeup had started to run. Being hugged by her was like being embraced by a depressed clown. That's a lot of makeup. It was an interesting experience, but not one I'm keen to relive anytime soon. Jesus Christ, I can't believe it. First you invite her out for a coffee, and now you're telling me you've been letting her cry into your chest out in public? She's heavily jealous. Heavily jealous. Jeez. Why did she need to emphasize the out in public part? Isn't that better than embracing her in private? Yes. That is a good point. And in public, come on, nobody could do the doggy out. Well, actually, there was. I'm not going to delve into that world. I don't understand women. Nobody will. Look, Sal, I know it sounds kind of bad, but it really wasn't like that. I'm not interested in her. Really, I'm not. Even if she does wear all those low-cut shirts. Oh, God.
That isn't the part that upsets me the most, though, Robin. That's not the real issue here.
Damn, Sally sounds mad enough as it is. And this isn't the real issue. I dread to think what that might be.
I'm disappointed in you. You said you were going to go out with me and Melly last Saturday. You promised.
Ah, so this is where some of the troubles are coming in. Of course, Melly. I knew I was forgetting something. It's a good thing that something is my only daughter. Look, I know what I said, and I really did mean it. I just got distracted, that's all.
Too busy trying to console poor Arabella, were we?
That isn't it, Sally. I didn't know what to do.
It wasn't only last week either. You've been promising Melly you'd have a day out with her for almost a month, and you still haven't.
Ouch. You don't have much of an excuse if that's the case.
Just what is so pressing that you can't put one measly day aside for your daughter?
I know it's shoddy behaviour. I'm really sorry. I really am sorry. I've just been busy.
Busy? How busy can you be? You're a music teacher in a primary school. It's hardly rocket science. It's not science at all. It's not even a proper subject.
Hey, hold on a minute. Chotto a minute. Even teachers have to work extra time in order to make PowerPoints and slides, and they need to also make Excel spreadsheets and Word documents and prepare a whole lesson for multiple classes in advance for different grades. It's not that simple. Even I know that. Teachers, a majority of the ones that I've met anyway, put in quite a bit of work into this stuff, so you have to be very careful as well about what you teach. So it's not that easy. Bloody hell. Oh, now Sally's done it. I love her and all. I kind of have to, since she's my wife. But I'm tired of hearing this shit about my job day in, day out. Even Arabella bleeding weight got on my case about it last Saturday and costed her in between all her tears. Okay, why would she mention that? Okay.
Oh, I envy you, Robin. Working at a primary school and doing music too. It must be so relaxing making a living out of something you're passionate about.
Okay, so it's my dream job.
Toiling away in an office all these years has really started to grind me down. I guess you wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
What? Yeah, I think Arabella's trying to cause shit. Yeah, right, because trying to stop a class of 5-year-olds hitting each other over the heads with their recorders is so much fun. I'm living a dream here, folks. For your information, Sally, music is a proper subject. And my job is a proper job. It's more proper than yours. No personal attacks. At least I actually leave the house. Fucking hell. What the... This is the first thing I'm greeted with in this game. I'm gonna die. Sally stares at me, her face a pale, death mask.
What was that, Robin? What did you just say?
I know I've gone too far, but I can't back down now. It's already too late. In for a penny, in for a pound. I said my job is more proper than yours. Unlike you, I can't sit on my backside all day with the TV on in the background.
How dare you say that to me? Just because I work from home, it doesn't mean my job is any less real than yours. Besides, music is nothing more than a hobby. It's not important, not in the grand scheme of things.
Music is necessary, no matter what you say. Being able to play an instrument is an important life skill.
And that's why you stopped trying to teach Millie, is it? Because it's such an important life skill? I stopped for Millie's sake. She hated it. I just don't think the piano is for her. And I have other students to teach, so...
Oh, that was me. Whoops. I turned feminine for a second, excuse me.
So you teach them, but not Melly? Not our daughter? I wonder why. I'm sure money has nothing to do with it, nothing at all.
What? You honestly think I would charge my own daughter to teach her? What? How the fuck did you end up in this situation, dude? Jesus. Sally.
Don't you Sally me. You're in the wrong and you know it. That's why you've gone quiet. It's because you know you've done something you should feel guilty about.
Sally looks at me with undisguised disgust. She might as well be examining a cockroach. I feel just as welcome.
I'm going to sleep. Don't even think about coming into my bedroom tonight. I don't want to see your face.
My bedroom? Wasn't that possessive? I did pay for half the house. Nice selective memory there, Sal.
So she's kicking me out of the house, the room
in which we both sleep. We both equally pay for the house legally. And she's bossing me around. Shit. With that, Sally stomps up the stairs, her messy bun bouncing. I watch she ascend, slamming one foot after the other with more force than necessary. I can't see her face, but her posture makes her feelings more than evident. Don't follow me. If you do, you're dead. I sigh, rubbing the back of my neck with one hand. Don't worry about that, Sal. I wasn't planning on it. I might have almost drowned when I was a kid, but I'm not suicidal.
Has this been happening every single day? Jeez.
There's a river a short walk away from my house. Oh, sorry, not my house. Mine and Sally's. It would be a little hypocritical of me to call Sally out for laying single-handed claim to our bedroom and then do the same thing about our home, wouldn't it? Yes, it would be. Let me try that again. There's a river short walk away from our house, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. The river isn't pretty by any stretch of the imagination, hardly something to wax poetic over. Even the greatest romantics would struggle to say something nice about it. The river is dark brown, choked with mud and dirt, and people use it as a communal dustbin, ignoring the real bins that exist for that very purpose. It's usually filled with broken beer bottles, carrier bags from the nearby supermarket, and fast food containers. It's not a pleasant sight. Once I saw a sofa soaking in there, unmoved by the torrents of muddy water that rushed at it. It isn't rare to see shopping trolleys basking in those murky depths, shallows more like. Their motionless wheels aloft in the air. I don't envy the guys who have to dredge all that shit back out of that river. It must be a rotten job, far worse than mine. Most people, my wife included, looked vaguely amused when I tell them I teach music in a primary school. So you play around with tambourines and castanets all day? But at least being a teacher is a respectable job. Semi-respectable. It's proper. It is. I agree with that statement. But the fact that they think it's just tambourines and castanets? Fuck off. I know it's much more than that. I used to play drums, for God's sake. Not like lake dredgers or whatever their official name is. Do they even have an official name? I'd imagine like environmental cleaners, maybe. At any rate, though, this river is hardly a picturesque point of local interest. More like an eyesore, everybody says. I still like it. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's the sound of the rushing water. Maybe it's just Maybe it's just reminding you of what happened when you tried to save the cat. Because you almost drowned in a little pond, didn't you? It's strange that I like this river so much, since I almost drowned in my youth. But that's never really bothered me. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Yeah. So he's looking at to say, I survived this, I can survive reality then? I can survive more? I don't know. So as I always do when I'm feeling unsettled, which has been more and more frequently as of late, I find myself standing on that bridge, overlooking the surface of the river. It's a dark night and the water doesn't look brown, as it usually does. It's black like ink, the skeleton of a shopping trolley sticking out of its muddy banks. There would be a shopping trolley. There always is. I suppose it's comforting in a way. Some things never change. It reminds me of Great Britain a little bit. I have seen many trolleys when I was younger pushed into rivers. That was a common sight sometimes. Not like my relationship with Sally. That's changed a hell of a lot. It happened so gradually too. I didn't even realise how much it had deteriorated until what? I don't want to say until it was too late, because that sounds horribly maudlin, but I sigh, resting my hands against the wrought iron railings. The iron is cold, chilled by the biting wind, and my fingers spasm. If I stay here for too long, I'm going to catch a cold. I know that I can't bring myself to move. I continue to stand there, frozen, staring into the river. The water parts when it hits the shopping trolley, swirling about it in circles. Ah. Did I just feel a spot of moisture on my head? Yeah, it's raining. The rain starts to fall from the sky in a fine mist, light and ephemeral. Well, not that ephemeral. I'm still getting wet. I should go. I've dallied here too long. I've dallied here long enough. Lost in my self-indulgent thoughts. Sally must be getting worried. Then again, maybe not. No, she doesn't give a shit in a second. I wonder. If I slipped and fell off the guardrail, would Sally mind? Oh man, this is gonna have some heavy themes. Oh, I'm glad I read out the warning at the beginning. Would Melly? Maybe Arabella wait. Would, but I don't care what she thinks. Sally's right. I haven't been spending enough time with Melly. I only ever see her at dinner, when we sit together at the table, lost inside our own respective silences. Oh man, that's... Happy families. She doesn't talk to me. Doesn't even look at me. The mother's speaking to her then. I'm betting, I don't think Sally has been very kind, involving the daughter as well, because I think Sally is speaking to Melly about not talking to me. Or the main character in this, Robin. So I think that's what's going on, is that the mother is ranting on to her own daughter about what's going on with Robin. And has kind of convinced her daughter to not even talk to her dad until he spends time with her. I'm guessing that. I'm just guessing. Not sure why I called her Melody. It's a big name to divide up. It's a big name to live up to, with a lot of unspoken hopes and dreams mixed in. That was my first mistake. I turned ready to make my weary way back home when... Oh. Guess who? My vision is suddenly obscured by a darkness even darker than that of the night sky. Alright, so my eyes are being covered by hands. Breath glides across my ear and laughter, obviously female, dances about me. There's something pressed against my back. Okay, that's tears. Hands held over my eyes. They're doing that childish game we see kids participate in the playground. I never thought I'd be on the receiving end of such a gesture. Who is it? How many young girls do I even know? Maybe it's one of my students. Mrs. Cartwright's Enid, perhaps? But Enid would never do something like this. She's far too shy. Not as shy as Melly, but shy enough. What about my other students then? Laura? Jessica? Cornelia? No, and no again. Laura is quite a chatterbox, but she'd never be this informal with me. Jessica spends most of her piano lessons staring up at the ceiling. Cornelia's family is from Poland, and though she's fluent in English, she has quite a strong accent. It isn't those girls. Why would it be? I'm not that close to any of my students. Who else could it be then? I think you got the wrong person. Can you let go of me, please? I expect a sudden intake of breath, a frantic step backwards, and a wide-eyed apology, but it never comes. The girl only giggles. Her hands remain stubbornly in place, unmoved.
Oh no, I definitely don't. I know it's you. I would know it was you, even if my eyes were pecked out of my crows.
Pecked out by crows. Crows? If we really do know each other, could you at least let me see your face so I can confirm it?
But that's no fun. I want you to guess.
I've always been bad at guessing games.
Suit yourself, but that's so boring.
The girl steps back, drawing her hands away from my eyes. Ooh, hello. I turn, the wind and rain stinging on my cheeks, and frown. I don't know what I'm expecting. For some reason my heart is beating just a little louder than usual. Adrenaline? Maybe. But it isn't every day you encounter a mysterious young girl on a bridge in the dark. This situation sounds like something from a novel. What kind of novel? I haven't decided yet. I'll make my mind up when I see her face. If she has long black hair and pale skin, it's probably a horror story. Well, we're fucked then. If she has blonde hair and blue eyes, maybe a romance. But as it turns out, the mystery girl is a mixture of both. Ooh. That's quite a cool image though. I like that. She's short, far shorter than me. Well, I knew that already since I couldn't feel her breath against the base of my neck. I could feel her breath against the base of my neck when she held her hands against my eyes. But I still don't know who she is. At least I don't think I do. There's something vaguely familiar about her face. The shape of her nose, the arc of her eyebrows. But these points are nebulous, difficult to pin down with any kind of clarity. Her hair is dark, cut into a neat bob, but her eyes are bright green and a small mischievous smile plays across her face, like a cat that's just caught a mouse. Would that make me the mouse? For some inexplicable reason, I feel a chill go down my spine, and not because of the cold. There's something odd about this girl. I can't quite put my finger on it. Something uncannily familiar but disconcertingly alien. But I don't know her. I'm sure I don't know her. If I met somebody with bright green eyes like that flickering like halogen lamps, I think I would remember. Normal people don't have eyes like that. I'm sorry, but I really don't think we've met before. This must be some kind of mistake.
And I already said that it isn't. I'd know you anywhere, Robin Hawkins.
So she knows my name. How does she know my name? Well, she doesn't answer my questions. She can't. I forgot to say it out loud. Whoa, hello. Okay. You are definitely getting closer to me. Hello, hi. How are you? There's lots of leaves. I take one step forward and she takes one step forward and peers up at me. Her eyes are large, all-encompassing like twin glass planets. My head starts to pound. I feel dizzy.
I was waiting for you. I was waiting for you for such a long time. I want to tell you something. Something really important.
Oh?
I think I'm in love with you.
So saying, the girl stands on the tips of her toes and presses a soft kiss against my cheek. Oh shit! Well, now the wife's gonna be mad. This is very interesting at the second. I'm very interested in this. Her movements are so gentle and tender. I could almost kid myself into believing we're estranged lovers, reunited on this bridge for the first time in 15 years. But that can't be. I don't know how old this girl is. There's a good chance she might not even be 15 yet. Oh fuck, we're going to prison, guys. Alright, I'm sorry, I'm out of here. Fuck, no, getting arrested. For myself, I've been married to Sally for longer than that. The thought of Sally is enough to pull me back to my senses, more effective than a slap across the face. I'm sorry, but... I take hold of the girl's shoulder, frighteningly bony, and push her away. She doesn't look surprised by my manhandling. Woman handling? Teenage handling? Help me out of here! I can't do it, you're on your own! Instead, she stares at me, eyes unblinking. To be honest, it's kind of unnerving. I can't deny I'm flattered by the attention. What middle-aged man wouldn't be? Oh yes. But at the same time, I'm confused, anxious, and more than a little disturbed. What on earth was all that about? What on earth was that all about? Why? Just who are you anyway?
Don't you remember? I thought that might jog your memory. Not that we've ever kissed before. That would have been weird.
I really don't know. One of my old students?
Do you usually let your students kiss you?
Oh, of course not!
Good. I'm so happy I'm the only one. I can get awfully jealous, you know.
It doesn't help me out. I still don't know why.
Alright, fine. I see we're not going to get anywhere without a bit of a push.
Okay. She smiles, her eyes sparkling like precious jewels. First hydrogen planets, now jewels. The girl's eyes are an ever-changing mystery, a source of oh so many possible similes. They've almost taken on mythic properties. It's inevitable. I've never seen a person with eyes like this before. In that case, there's just no way. How can that be possible? He's realised it's the cat. But it is. I step backwards, my back collides against the wrought iron railings, and cold seeps through my jacket into my skin. The girl stands in front of me, smiling coyly as though she hasn't done something shocking. And there we go! Cat girl confirmed. There, growing right out of her scalp, are a pair of ears. A set of twitching black ears lined with white fur. Tremble in the cold. Cat's ears. Cat's eyes. A cat's tail too. And it's got the little ribbon peeking out beneath from the hem of her dress. This must be a dream. This has to be a dream. Southern Kiss should have been enough of a giveaway, but the scene playing out before my eyes has transcended the border of possible but improbable and right into congratulations, you've got insane territory! Ding-a-ding-a-ding! We're insane, guys. Maybe I've been outside longer than I thought. It must be the cold. I'm seeing things. What other explanation is there? This can't be real. There's just no way. It's Belle.
Do you know who I am now?
Slowly, stupidly, I open my mouth and say the very first thing that comes into my head.
Belle?
The girl's face lights up, wreathed with smiles.
That's right, I'm Belle, your great Aunt Clarice's cat.
And we're gonna fuck a cat girl again. Oh dear, in this case though it's a bit more... There's lots more consequences, I'm imagining. Of course. That makes sense, doesn't it? It's Belle. She comes back to thank me for trying to save her, though she didn't need saving to begin with. That's just how the world works. Those who do good deeds will get rewarded eventually. I think there's something about it in the Bible. Yes, there is. I don't know if there's anything about catgirls in here, though. Granted, I never paid much attention in religious education at school, so I can't be sure. I'm no priest. I did manage to piss off my RE teacher, though, once, because she was on about the story of Adam and Eve, and I couldn't understand the story because there was too many holes for me to actually believe it myself. So I just saw it as more of a story rather than an actual thing myself, because I was thinking, okay, if God's all-knowing, why is Satan in God's garden, and why doesn't he get rid of him if he's all-powerful? And if he's all-powerful and all-knowing, why would he allow Eve to go and take fruit from the apple and allow her to eat it if it's so bad to eat with? And why is the tree of knowledge so bad to eat from in the beginning? Why is it wrong to just stay a sheep and not know anything? Is what I never really understood. But then again, that's just my personal point of view. So I can't be sure. I'm no priest. Falling into that river during my formative years must have scarred me more than I thought. And yet, despite my belief that this must be some kind of near-death induced dream, the girl, or Belle should I say, doesn't disappear, doesn't even flicker. She remains stubbornly solid, leaning her elbows against the iron railings as she, excuse me, as she stares out at the starry sky. If it weren't for the ears and tail, she would look like an ordinary girl. An ordinary girl who kisses middle-aged men in the middle of the night. Of course. Well, I suppose that isn't so unusual. Not really. Lots of girls do things like that. Some even make livings out of it. Oh, yes. Those are the women that look for sugar daddies to hold on to for the rest of their lives. And the same could be... it's also there's also the same for young men who go with loaded old ladies as well. Like Sugar Mama, I think. I'm trying to remember.
But this isn't the same.
I know it's not the same.
I don't really cat, you see.
I could tell that much.
Maybe you can now, but you were totally taken in before, right? You, your great Aunt Clarice, your parents, and everyone, really.
It was a very convincing disguise. The best Halloween costume I've ever seen.
Thanks. I managed to fool all you humans, but the other cats were less convinced. They must have known on some instinctive level that I wasn't one of their own. That's probably why they didn't like me, didn't want to come near me.
So she's a shifter of sorts? That's true enough. Great Aunt Clarice's other cats, Smokey, Mitten, Snowdrop, Jasper and Eric, never went near Belle. I always thought it was just a cat thing. Well, it was.
My body was that of a cat. I was more than that. I've always been more.
You said all you humans. Does that mean you're not human? Duh.
How perceptive are you?
She grins. Oh no, we got cheeky cat girl.
And how many humans do you know that can disguise themselves as a black cat for years upon years?
Maybe not a black one specifically.
You're funny. You're so freaked out right now, but you're trying hard to make jokes. I like it.
Christ. I run a hand through my hair, it's damp, and it clumps together in spikes. Water trickles down my forehead. This is ridiculous. How can a cat also be a girl? I don't understand.
It's probably easiest to think of me as neither. I'm not a cat or a girl.
Then what are you? Words begin to fit through my mind. None of them are particularly flattering. Squamous, eldritch, abomination. Oh no, cat girls are not abominations now. No. We need to scientifically research how to make them.
I'm actually, how can I phrase this? I suppose I would say spirit, but you humans might say other harsher things like demon, devil, maybe monster.
Monster? Not too far from abomination, then at least she doesn't say elder god.
I was taken out of form of a cat out of necessity for a while. I didn't really want to, but I had no choice. I was too weak to assume a human form at the time, so I had to settle for something smaller.
Yeah, what do you mean? What do you mean you were too weak?
I can't explain it right now, it's a long and boring story and you probably wouldn't understand.
Probably not. I can't even understand the made-up sci-fi jargon of Doctor Who. So how would I be able to wrap my head around something like this? Okay, Emmy Hime is definitely British if she knows Doctor Who. Actually no, Doctor Who's pretty well known, so... I know it's banned in China anyway.
Do you remember when I fell into that lake in Clarice's garden? I wasn't paying attention really, lost in my own world. When you're a cat and you can't communicate with anyone, daydreaming is all you can do to pass the time.
Of course I remember, I almost died.
I suppose you have a point. You humans only have one life after all.
I take it you spirits or whatever it is you are have more? She taps fingers against her nose, that teasing smile flitting about her face.
Now, that would be telling. A woman has to have some secrets.
Can't a man have some secrets? No? I thought you said you weren't a girl. Oh yeah.
I'm not. There's a big difference between a girl and a woman.
Alright, fine, I won't pry, but I still can't wrap my head around this.
Good boy.
Don't appreciate that condescending tone. I am 42. Wow, I'm an old bastard. I am 42.
And yet, despite your age, you are nothing more than a child compared to me.
Just how old is this girl? Sorry, woman. If we just met when I was 6, she must have a considerable head start over me. Isn't it rude to ask a lady her age, though? I never understood that. I mean, what's wrong with knowing how old somebody is? I mean, if... Just imagine, you're going on a date with a girl, you're 19 and she doesn't tell you her age, then all of a sudden you get Child Protective Services coming to arrest your ass because she never told you she was 15. That's a terrifying thought.
I was so happy when you tried to help me back then. I mean, I wasn't in any danger, but the fact that a human would risk her life in order to aid me was really touching.
It wasn't touching, it was stupid.
Don't be too hard on yourself. I appreciated it. People aren't very nice to us spirits, even when we masquerade as something else.
Though they
can never tell the difference. I think they can sense it.
It might be true. My parents were never too struck on Belle. Neither was I. I wonder why, though. What are the general duties of the average run-of-the-mill spirit? Meting out death, ferrying souls, heralding the apocalypse, sorry. If that's the case, it's no wonder people are suspicious of her.
I vowed ever since the day when I regained enough strength to take on a human form, I would find you and thank you. It became my mission, my reason for living, as it were.
I'm flattered. You don't need to go that far.
But I did. At the time, I really did. I needed something to care about. Something to strive for. I've been a cat for so long, I was almost beginning to lose my sense of self. I was starting to forget who I was, and it's very dangerous for a spirit. Beings like me can take on other forms whenever we want, depending on how strong we are, but if we remain in one form too long and forget about our true selves, we'll be stuck. I was this close.
Shows up a thumb and forefinger. Distance between them is a minute. Microscopic.
To forgetting. To condemning myself to live the life of a common house cat for the rest of my life. A life that would have ended far, far too fast. Cats can't live for nearly as long as spirits can.
No, I can't imagine they would be able to. Just what am I talking about? I have no idea what I'm saying. I've never met a spirit before, so I have nothing to compare this girl's words to and no way of verifying her statements. I'm just saying what I think she wants to hear. Trying to make her feel better. Over the course of the last 5 minutes, I've come to realise something. I don't like when she frowns. Oh, right click. Okay, sorry, I accidentally pressed that.
I'm glad you tried to save me, Robin. It woke me up from my stupor. Shook me by the shoulders, metaphorically of course, but I can't, because cats don't have shoulders. Until all of the lethargy accumulated over the years fell away. I'd almost begun to forget it was an act. I'd almost forgotten myself. You made me remember. You made me remember who I really am. You didn't save me from drowning, but you saved me in a different way. You saved my identity. You saved not my physical body, but my sense of self. That's why I want to thank you so much. I'd be nothing more than a dead kitty, a stone-cold cat carcass. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be able to talk or cry, to laugh. I wouldn't even have opposable thumbs.
Belle holds up her hands, bending each one of her fingers in turn, like a child showing off an art project to a parent.
So thank you. I can't thank you enough. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I'm actually liking this at the second. She looks at me earnestly, her green eyes intense. I shiver. I feel like an invisible ghostly hand is brushing against every single vertebra of my spine. And I'm going to save it right here. I feel like this is a very good space to end it off at. So I think I recorded for about an hour of this. So far I'm very intrigued about this. It's got me interested. But the real question is, does it have you guys interested? Because I would like to continue this. Because I've been meaning to play. It's always seemed like an oddity to me. And this oddity for the genres kind of piqued my interest. And so far I can say I'm not disappointed. It's quite mysterious. And I'm very keen to continue this very soon. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you want any more from me. And I shall see you in the next video. Sonajar, guys. I will indeed see you next time. Wow. This is going to be... I wonder how this is actually going to turn out. I'm really curious.